stamping and crafting friends. Welcome to Melissa's Crafting Treehouse. Today I've got a super simple card for you, and I'm going to show you how to make this card using lots of different images and coloring methods. This is also one of my club and free card kit projects, so you can get the pieces and parts to make this project with a qualifying order. For details about my free card kit program, make sure to check out the link in the video description below. For this first version of my card, I'm going to use my blending brushes to apply my color. I could also use sponges as well, and I'm going to show you a version that I did with sponges later. Now I'm using a medley of colors, one from each part of the rainbow, and I'm going to start with my Daffodil Delight. When I use my blending brushes, I like to put my finger on the back of the brush itself to give me a little bit more control and pressure. And I'm trying to stay within a defined space, knowing that I'll be stamping my images over the top, and I want it to be the backing for those images. Next, I'm bringing in my Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to do the same thing, just putting a little swatch of color next to it. Now when I grab color from my ink pad, it's generally a good idea to rub your blending brush onto your scrap paper to get off the strongest color that may be there, so you don't get a big blotch of whatever color it is you're putting on. It's easier to control the color if you have less on the brush. Next, I'm using my Balmy Blue, and I've got a brush for each color in the rainbow. So again, I'm rubbing off a little bit from my blending brush to make sure it's not super strong, and then going in and putting my patch of color next to the green. Now I'm going to be working with my Highland Heather. Now on my original card up there, you see I've only used 4 colors, but I am going to bring a 5th color into this particular focal piece that I'm working on. The last color I'm using is Flirty Flamingo, and I'm just using the same method of getting off the ink that's on there to start with, the strongest amount of ink, and then I'm actually in this case rubbing the blending brush against the edge of the cardstock. It actually does a really nice job of blending when you have an edge to work with. And now I'm going to come in with each of my blending brushes to blend where the 2 colors meet. So now I've got my Balmy Blue, or my blue blending brush, and I just did a little bit of blending of the colors between the blue and the purple and the blue and the green. And now I'm doing the same thing with my yellow. Next, I'm going to stamp a sentiment from the Dragonfly Garden stamp set. And I'm starting by testing out the stamp on my scrap paper, mostly just to gauge how to stamp it straight. Since I'm stamping on the front of my actual card, on my focal piece, I want some measure of confidence that I'm going to do it right. It turned out a little bit off, but it's acceptable. Now, the images that you see in the card above are as tall as you see them in that card, but I'm going to use an image on this card that's a really tall image, and I don't want it to go below the line of color that I have in there. So I've got a piece of art masking tape, and I'm just going to place that along the bottom of the colors, so my stamped image will only be in the place where I want them to be. And I'm pulling back my art masking tape so I can adjust the height of the mask so that the sentiment will be at a height relative to the bottom of the flowers that I particularly like. Now I'm using my Jet Black StazOn and an image from the Dragonfly Garden stamp set, and I'm going to stamp my flowers strategically, placing them So some are higher than others, some are angled to the left, some are angled to the right. So that first one is sort of medium height. The second one's going to be angled to the right, a little bit higher. The middle one, I'm again angling a different way and making it much shorter. This fourth image is pretty much straight up and down, and then my last one is low down and to the right. By doing this, it really looks like I've created a garden scene and the flowers look natural. Now if you use the image in the card on the right there, you don't have to worry about masking because that image is a shorter image. But I do recommend that you stamp that floral image starting in the center and then do one image to the right and one image to the left. Now when I did that one, I also found that it was a little bit difficult to get a straight line across the bottom, so I did test out my stamping with those poppies on my scrap paper before I stamped it. As I mentioned earlier, I made multiple variations of this card using various stamps. In this photo you'll see 3 of the 4 stamp sets that I used. I also mentioned that I used different coloring methods. As you can see here, for this card, instead of using blending brushes, I've actually used stamps to apply my color. For this one, I used an image from the Hydrangea Hill stamp set and then just masked and stamped my images over the top. The dimensions you see on the post-it notes there are approximate dimensions for those images so that anyone making this card could choose images that would fit appropriately. For this next version of my card, I've used that round splotchy image in the Hydrangea Haven stamp set, and I have overlapped those images quite a bit. And then I used images from the Dragonfly Garden stamp set over the top. Now I've got 2 more versions to show you. For this next card, I tried to do the same thing with sponges. What I found was that it was much more difficult to control the placement of my color, so I ended up just doing a rainbow of color top to bottom all over the front of the card. And then I stamped my images from the Dragonfly Garden set. Last but not least, I wanted to see what this card would look like with ink that was stamped off. So as you can see here, the one on the left, I did my inking with second generation ink of the same 5 colors, just for a softer look. For this one, I've also added the butterflies in the upper left-hand corner. So I've got one more little tip for you. So as I mentioned earlier, when you stamp your sentiment directly onto your focal piece, and it is the whole front of the card, it's nice to have a fallback if you don't like how you did the stamping. So on one of my cards, I took a piece of Whisper White cardstock and I just stamped the sentiment on it, and I covered it over the previously stamped image that I didn't like. I did punch the edges of that sentiment piece with the Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. Now assembling this card is super easy. You just put dimensionals on the back side of your black layer, attach it to the front of your card, and then attach your focal piece to the black. And my card is all done. Now one of the things I love about this design is that you can make it with whatever stamps you want and with whatever coloring method you like, and the possibilities are really endless. You could even change up the colors. I hope you're inspired to go create. As a reminder, this is a club and free card kit project. To get free card kits, all you have to do is place a qualifying order in my online store. Plus, first-time customers get all 3 kits regardless of the order size. To learn more about how you can get free card kits, check out the link in the video description below. I hope you enjoyed my project today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for spending some time with me today, and happy crafting!